Throughout the world, fantasy characters entertain young and old, either during specific holidays or all year round. But whatever the occasion, their main job is to spread joy. Today, in the American state of Michigan, we'll see that not only does Santa Claus exist, you can also become one. All you have to do is attend the oldest Santa Claus school in the world. All the pros, tricks, and techniques are taught to the apprentice Santa Clauses so that they can have it all down once they sit in the chair of that mythical man in red. We'll also see how to make people believe fantasy characters to fulfill the dreams of young and old in schools like no others. For a few days every fall, the small American town of Midland, Michigan is home to a strange occurrence as the streets are invaded by a jolly band of white-bearded men in red. Even the license plates get into the quirky spirit. That's because it's back-to-school time for Santa Clauses. The Charles W. Howard Santa Claus School was founded in Michigan in 1937. It's the very first school of its kind in the world. The institution's mandate is to encourage respect for the traditions, preserve the history, and teach the etiquette of Santa Claus. While many of the students fit the classical Santa Claus profile, other ones stray a little.
I'm here right now to register. It's Wednesday evening, school starts in the morning, and it's all very intimidating to me because I've seen a lot of these men before, and I don't think I look like them yet, but with makeup and bleach, in a couple weeks from now I will.
Are you nervous?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because this is my first time, and these people all look like they've been coming for years.
It's a registration today. Is it your first year?
No, this is my 9th year.
9th year.
I've been here since 2003.
Wow. You are more than PhD.
Well,
Santa Claus, really?
Most of the alumni will come back every year just for, for the fun of being with all our friends and getting to talking to the guys and just having a good time.
Thank you.
Y'all
very
enjoy
much.
your time here.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
evening.
you. You too.
For 3 days, the apprentice Santa Clauses from all across America will learn the basics of the job, from beard care to laughing techniques, workshops on talking to kids, and general knowledge courses about the Christmas tradition. This knowledge will make all the difference to John once it comes time for him to put on the suit.
I'm the type that if I do something, I want to do it well. I want to do it very well. I'm more of a perfectionist. I don't like to make mistakes. For something like this, if you make a mistake at the expense of children and possibly scaring them or ruining their Santa experience, that's a lot to worry about.
I'm Jerry Owens from New Albany, Indiana. This is my 8th year. I still haven't graduated yet. So for all you new ones, good luck. If I gotta say one thing to all of you that are new, and a reminder for all of us that are old, we are not Santa. We are an actor, we are portraying the figure. So treat it with respect. It's a great figure known the world over. Whatever you do is seen all over the world because of what you look like. It's about the children. It isn't about us. Just keep that in mind and you're gonna be a great Santa.
Thank you.
Good point, sir.
Since the first day I came here to Santa School, my life has not been the same. Keep smiling, we're going to have fun. Oh, yeah. Yes, we are.
I've always been told I've got a twin. I'm looking at many of them. Thank you. I'm Santa Bruce Nelson, and as you can see, I'm undercover.
Well, he's been a Santa for 26 years. 25 years, and we've been married 5.5. So on our second date, he says, there is something I need to tell you. Now, mind you, I work in the mental health field. He sits me down and he says, I'm Santa Claus. And I'm thinking, woohoo!
Hi, my name's John Byers, and this is my first year. I was a little intimidated when I saw the pictures on the website, but Tom's already told me you just have to be the best Santa that you can be. And so what I've gotten out of that so far is it's kind of nice to be around the room with people that are probably close to my same age, but I look a lot younger. And my wife barely knows that I'm here, so she's not warmed up to all this yet. But she will.
On the agenda today at Santa School, a wash, dye, and set because Santa has to look his very best.
You've heard the expression, you never have a second chance to make the first impression, correct? And that's exactly what it is. You never have that second chance, and so you owe it to your client or who you're visiting to look the best you can be at all times. Because you see, you represent me and the rest of the Santas in the world. And if you look bad, it makes us all look bad. So Santa should take the time to do the best they can and look the best they can and give that family the best they have to offer.
Is it like with fashion models where there's competition as to who's the best looking Santa Claus?
They're going to say no, but I think there is. You know, it's the only place that I go where you have beard envy. And so you see them looking around going, oh man, look at that beard, what did he do? But if you don't let it get out of hand, it can be good because it makes you better.
How does putting on the suit help you become Santa Claus?
Once you put it on, it changes you because everyone looks at you, you're Santa Claus. So with the beard you walk around, they kind of look, are you not? But once you put the suit on, you literally become Santa. And it suits, you know, it's comfortable. I love it. I put it on after a while. When I take it off sometimes, it's like after Christmas is over, why isn't nobody looking at me anymore? I don't have the suit on.
You're half Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, I'm half. Well, call me, I'm the summer Santa. South of the border. He wears shorts.
Has this elastic attached to it, and there's a variety of ways to do this attachment, but then when you put it on, the gluing is to make sure that this part on your chin doesn't go shifting around, or if you laugh, you don't laugh right out of your beard or something weird like that.
The beard is an essential item for a Santa Claus, and when you aspire to be one, you're immediately confronted with a big dilemma.
I'm a business professional, a little harder for me to go real long. I only want a Santa beard during the holidays. So actually, this lady over here that was talking about the wigs,
Yeah?
that might be enough to save my marriage.
So that could be a good option.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just not sure. And I'm going to talk to a lot of other people to find out. Holy cow. Oh God, I'm hot. Drugstore.
There you go.
Last year.
And
and you shave off every year.
Yep, I shave it off
awesome.
Christmas Day.
Is that a Christmas present to your family?
It's a tradition.
Okay.
This was Sue, and right after I bleached. And it starts like this.
And how long did that take her to do that?
It's about a 3-hour.
Going on or off?
A couple $100?
She's 150.
That's not bad. I think they're going to give us these photos. I can't wait to put it on Facebook. I have hundreds of friends that know I'm coming here. And I don't know if many of them believe me, but if they see this, they will. This is my proof. I'm thinking.
While the American Santas look after their appearance, dance is on the schedule for the It seems obvious that to be Santa Claus, you have to love kids. Since hundreds of them will come and sit on your knee, some of them will be overexcited and others scared. So here they learn how to deal with them. It's important to keep in mind that for young kids, Santa Claus can be overwhelming. At school, they learn how to soften the impression, particularly by toning down their laugh.
Children get very scared if you just say, ho, ho, ho. It's very scary to a young child. But if you go with a laugh and it's like, ho, 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 they just think it's part of who you are. So that's where the ho, ho should come from, deep down inside.
Stand up. I want to hear your ho, ho, ho. Remember, take in a breath of two, that deep breath down to your belly. And we aren't going to hold it. We're just going to take it in, 1, 2, and then do a ho, ho, ho. Breathe in, 1, 2, ho, ho, ho. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2.
I think that the public has a misconception that all Santas say ho, 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 but in reality, we laugh like normal people.
I think people expect that of Santa Claus. You know, it's kind of like, well, can we hear your ho, ho?
Ho, ho, ho.
And I think that's the echo from inside of you and the happiness and joy which you try to share with the people.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Gone, they were flying.
To make visits with children go smoothly, there are certain tricks that Santa Clauses need to know.
But they always invite the family up to visit, not just the children, if you can. Get the family up there. They'll make the children relax more. Who's more excited to see you, a 5-year-old or mom and dad? Mom and dad, yeah. So keep that in mind. Get them up to be part of the visit. I tell you, adults love Santa. They're more nervous than the kids. They're a little timid, and they're a little shy, and they'll stand back. Get them up there.
Been here before?
This morning, a group of kids are visiting Santa Claus. Slipping into the suit is always a little stressful for an apprentice. Are you a little nervous?
A little bit.
Why are you nervous? What makes you nervous?
It's awesome to be a Santa Claus, and you have to do it correctly for the children.
John and the other apprentice Santa Clauses need to hide their beards so they don't confuse the children. This visit is a chance to learn through observation.
So we just witnessed an exercise with kids. What have you learned watching that?
There's just a lot to know and a lot to do. And you really have to think and you really have to listen. He asked who wanted to be first. And then the first child didn't want to come, and then the second child didn't want to come, and then they all don't want to come. And that's why I think you noticed when the children weren't coming to him, he got down on the floor and started kind of creeping towards them, and maybe got himself a little smaller. I thought that was all very good. Hey, good job. So, you know, I have a lot to learn.
While Santa Claus exists mainly for the amusement of children, he can also end up with an adult on his knee. This can become a tricky situation.
It's a norm for most of us to have young women who will come to us and say, well, Santa, I've been naughty today. It's an opening, and you've got to be careful with things like that, and we've learned to not fall into those traps. Now, one of the things we do learn here, of course, is the placement of the hands. We wear white gloves because people are more able to see that, and they see where our hands are. It's unfortunate. You know, that's a thing of the present time and over the last 10 or 15, 20 years. It didn't used to be that way. People didn't pay attention to those things because Santa was not going to do anything that would be questionable or objectionable.
Learning to play Santa Claus, but not for the same reasons. They have to get used to spending long hours sitting in an oversized chair.
Actually, that's a complaint I've heard from some of the mini Santas that I've talked to before, is the chairs look great. They look comfortable, like you could sit in them all day. You have to get up and stand up. It's a very flat back. There's a certain amount of discomfort that goes along with being Santa Claus.
And to avoid injuries and tendinitis, not to mention a stomachache from too many cookies, a Santa Claus has to stay in shape.
Definitely practically, Santa needs to be somewhat fit for the job as Santa. All right, come on you guys, right out here. Let's fill in, make sure you guys have enough room. Now, one of the greatest things that you can do with working out is work both sides of your brain. It's like a virtual crossword puzzle. And we know that Saturday's harder than Monday, so we're here to do that. Now, what a lot of Santas don't realize is, even though it might be 2 to 3 months out of the year, even though we're very jolly and stuff like that, if you were to lift hundreds of children on your lap, you could throw your back out, or you could do something like that, and it would be, you know, not advantageous for their body for the rest of the 9 months. You know, one time I said, let's touch our toes, and I heard a Santa say, I haven't seen my toes in years. When it comes to doing the job as Santa, you need to have enough breaks so that you can get up and stretch your legs, walk around, have water, those type of things, because it is taxing on the body. So we want to make sure as much as we can to move around and use our body as well.
A Santa school is also a school for Mrs. Claus, because while they're a little bit overshadowed by their famous husbands, they also have things to learn. As they say, behind every great man, there's a great woman.
Mrs. Santa Claus, she's celebrating her 100th year this year. She was first introduced in 1914 in literature, and she has just evolved with movies and cartoons and music.
Give us some examples of courses and basic skills you teach to Mrs. Claus in this school.
In this school, we have a class on how to make a Mrs. Santa hat. We have a class on how to cook a nutritious meal for Santa, something very healthy and that makes him happy and healthy.
Mrs. Claus is Santa's sidekick. Mrs. Claus is behind the scene, and she supports Santa because he is very important.
Mrs. Claus is Mary Claus. She's a very, 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 very talented woman that can do very many things at one time.
She is a lady that just loves her man, Santa.
And she makes sure that his favorite suit is laundered and clean and nicely pressed.
Usually just complimenting Santa is the main purpose.
And she bakes for him, and the cookies, oh, the cookies he loves.
I have to take that back seat to him, which has sometimes been a task for me because my personality is probably a little more outgoing than my Santa. So that's been something that we work on.
Thank you so much. And she's really the heart of Santa Claus. She's the one that helps him stay level and focused. So we're 100 years in the making, and we're going strong.
At the Santa Claus School, the students learn that to answer kids' often bizarre questions, they can use their imagination. But there's nothing like actual hands-on experience, like flying Santa Claus's sleigh.
I made this 25 years ago. It's this real image of what the real sleigh actually looks like. So it actually flies pretty good. The reindeer are animated, and it helps Santa. It helps all these Santas really understand what that feeling is to fly a sleigh.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, I said.
Why is it important to do it for real?
I think just getting up there, knowing what it's like to feel the reins and just that experience that you can maybe describe to children when you're, because a lot of them want to know, how did you get here?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to drive a sleigh with reindeer? I don't know.
So when you will answer now, you will be really sincere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll know.
Part of getting the apprentices to try out all aspects of Santa Claus's life is making them build a toy themselves. Why is it important for an apprentice Santa Claus to learn everything about Santa Claus's role and know what they're talking about?
Once you can do that, then you can talk about it. Give you the tools, and then it's up to each one of the participants to create their own North Pole. And that's what each one of us has to do. Where is your North Pole? When you close your eyes, what do you see? And you hope to get to the point where you can visualize what your North Pole looks like. So it's important that the Santa Claus believes in what he is saying, no matter how wild it might be. If I believe it and take that belief that I have in it, you're going to believe it. Back to the left. I want to hear a big yeah, yeah.
The day of classes ends with a visit to a toy store, a must for any aspiring Santa Claus.
Do you have to love toys to be a Santa Claus?
If you don't play, you don't do a job right. You gotta know the toys.
Everybody should have a pamphlet of, or almost everybody, we made quite a bit of them. We have 15 hot toy items.
When the kids come on your lap and they ask for a certain toy, you got to know about the toy, because Santa's supposed to know. So if you don't know the hot toys and the hot ones that they're going to be asking for this year, you got to brush up on your background.
What are you having here?
Well, these are 2 of the top 15 toys this year.
Okay, so you have a top 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I have a little girl and a little boy.
Okay, so you're already shopping
Yeah,
for them.
she's 18 and he's 21. So I couldn't resist.
Oh, wow. So what's the purpose of that exercise, you being here?
Today?
Yes.
It's become very clear. I don't want to have to ask a child what they mean by supernova battle rover. Did you see that? It's huge.
Supernova?
Supernova battle rover.
He's good.
It's because I want one of those.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, Linda. How are you doing today?
Santas are pretty popular, the Santa in his suit. And when you are popular, you get asked to do interviews. And people want to know what children are asking. They want to know what the new toys are. They want to know a lot of things. Santa is a mysterious, magical fella. So there's a lot of good questions that the interviewer can ask Santa on TV. And it's good to make him comfortable so he can respond accordingly.
They are in 1 and 3. Tom is in 1, Santa is in 3.
Welcome, boys and girls. Welcome to MCTV. We have a special guest today on this snowy night. It is none other than Santa. Thanks for coming, Santa.
Oh, ho, ho. Glad to be here.
Hey, right now, little Fleet's on the phone.
Oh, good.
And he's got a question.
Hello, Fleet.
Hello, Santa. How are you doing?
Great.
And what kind of cookies do you like?
I like all cookies. What kind of cookies do you have?
Chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin.
As long as I can have a glass of milk with cookies, that's wonderful.
I'll leave them on the table for you, Sam.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And you stay on my good list too.
I will.
To be a Santa, do you need to be funny? Do you need to be an actor?
No and no. You have to be a jolly, happy person. Not a comedian, not a clown.
I don't think Santa is supposed to be a comedian. I just think he's supposed to be sincere. This audience for me is all about children. So I'm not interested in being a Santa for adults at a office party. You know, it's all about the kids. And so you keep it in that mode, in that context. And if that comes across as being fun and jolly, then great.
Also feels like the end of classes.
We have spent 3 days in Charles Howard Santa School. A lot of work, a lot of fun, a lot of play, a lot of bonding, networking, but tonight is graduation. This is when we get our Charles Howard School diplomas. It's very special. For me to now feel like I'm actually a part of this group is very unique, very special. I'm already sensing the loss of having to leave tomorrow, and I can already see that I want to come back. The quality of the experience of these people is just, I could never duplicate it anywhere. You know, you can't reach out and find people like this. But spending 3.5 days with them, and they know me, they know my name, and they're already calling me and giving me a hard time, and they know I'm new. But I think I could pick up the phone and call any of them and ask for advice, and they'd give it to me.
That's great.
So it's well worth it. Well worth it.
All right, let's see who's gonna make it and who isn't. Oh boy, he made it. Little Johnny Byers.
How'd you know my name?
Johnny.
How'd you know my name was Johnny?
To you.
That was yesterday.
Birthday to you.
You didn't tell us.
That was yesterday.
Oh,
Dear Johnny.
Thank you very much for everything.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good luck.
How do you feel sitting in this chair?
Just sitting here like this now, I know it's something that I could do, and I feel very good about being able to do a good job. My job, to be the best Santa that I can be. Hit that 4. Good. This will be one of my most valued possessions, other than my family. Yeah. Thanks.
The main duty for Santa Clauses and mascots is to spread happiness. There's a future for people who can bring to life these fantasy characters that are all around us. And the good news is that making people believe in make-believe can also be learned in school.